Picture this. Your country works hard year after year to lift itself out of poverty. But just when it's time to invest in schools or hospitals, you're told half the money must leave, sent abroad before a single brick is laid. It's not just unfair, it's heartbreaking. And for many African nations, it's been their reality for generations. Today, we're diving deep into a financial revolution happening across the continent. A revolution led by bold leaders like Captain Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso, who is challenging the decades-old colonial gold system, confronting the CFA franc, and demanding Africa's gold be returned from France and the US Federal Reserve. This is more than economics. This is about freedom, resource control, and Africa reclaiming its wealth. Welcome to the Great African Gold Repatriation. For over half a century, 14 African countries using the CFA franc have been trapped in a neo-colonial economic structure. Controlled by France, these nations must deposit 50% of their foreign reserves into the French treasury. And here's the shocking part, most of this reserve isn't even in cash, it's in gold. Yes, African gold, stored not in African vaults, but in Paris. Think about that. African countries earn revenue from exports and trade, yet half of it vanishes into European hands before it can be used to build roads, power homes, or educate children. This isn't just unfair. It's economic slavery. But France isn't the only power holding Africa's wealth hostage. Countries like Ghana, Nigeria, and South Africa have historically stored gold reserves at the US Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Why? Because of loan conditions imposed by the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the World Bank. These institutions forced African nations to use gold as collateral, then refused to return it, even after the debts were repaid. It's a global debt trap designed to strip Africa of its independence. But now, the tides are turning. Ibrahim Traoré, the young and fearless president of Burkina Faso, is leading a new movement. He has expelled French troops, scrapped colonial military pacts, and most importantly, is demanding the return of Burkina Faso's gold reserves. He's joined by other revolutionary leaders, Assimi Goita of Mali, Abdourahmane Tiani of Niger, and voices rising from Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, and Egypt. This is a bold stand for economic sovereignty, a break from foreign control. This isn't the first time an African leader tried to take back control. Thomas Sankara, Burkina Faso's revolutionary leader in the 1980s, also demanded the repatriation of gold and called for a new African currency. Shortly after, he was assassinated, in a coup widely believed to have been backed by France. Laurent Gbagbo of Côte d'Ivoire, overthrown after trying to break free from French financial control. Muammar Gaddafi? He pushed for a Pan-African gold-backed currency. We all know how that ended. The message has always been clear: challenge the system and pay the price. But this time, Africa is not alone. The BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, are supporting African countries in breaking from Western financial dominance. A new gold-backed currency system is in the works, challenging the US dollar hegemony and Eurozone exploitation. Nigeria has already begun pulling gold from foreign banks. Ghana is now prioritizing domestic gold storage. And Egypt and South Africa are repositioning their reserves for national development. Western powers aren't sitting idly by. Economic blackmail, media smear campaigns, and sanctions have already begun. France has cut aid to Mali and Burkina Faso. Western media paints Traoré and Goita as dictators. But the African people see through it. They know that this is not just a policy dispute, it's a fight for independence. A battle to ensure Africa's gold serves Africa's future. With each step, leaders like Ibrahim Traoré are reshaping Africa's destiny. No longer will gold be stored in foreign banks. No longer will development depend on debt traps. Africa is saying no to financial colonialism, and yes to sovereignty, to justice, and to building a future powered by Africa's own resources. This is a defining moment, a tipping point in global financial history. The world is watching, but Africa is finally writing its own story. What do you think? Should African nations demand the return of their gold? Is this the true path to economic freedom? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Hit like if you support financial independence for Africa. And make sure to subscribe for more powerful stories about the rise of Africa. Join the movement. Be part of history. Africa is not waiting anymore.